you were at this F1 event in Miami.
Mhm.
When I told people I was going down to Miami here in Chicago, they were asking me if I was going to go to the F1 event or see the F1 event, or they were asking me about it. It it seems like the internet has allowed the opportunity for people to be interested in things that aren't necessarily have been mainstream
Mhm.
popular. And we're seeing this rise in interest in Formula One racing, and to the point where you're at this event. Can
Mhm.
you can you share with me what that experience was like and how that came about, and your
So,
takeaways from it?
okay. So what you said is actually very correct. I actually had no interest in Formula One racing, like prior to like hearing about that it's coming here and so forth. I've just so I just thought it's a big event. Like
Yeah.
you can think about it as like, for example, like the Super Bowl coming to your city. Like
Right.
obviously, whether you're a fan or not of football, or whether you're a fan of the teams playing, like going to a big event like that, it's just memorable. So that's kind of the way I saw it. I like the idea of like fast cars. Like who doesn't like, realistically speaking, who doesn't like the idea of loud motors and fast cars?
Yeah.
Um, but it felt great knowing it was happening in my city, because normally you're talking about this is a sport that happens predominantly overseas. You're talking about in
Yeah.
Europe, Middle East, and so forth. So obviously, a lot of people don't really know much about it, because most of the times when the race do happen, they're overnight, and
Mhm.
they only cut, and then the coverage happens very early morning
Yeah.
here in America. So then now you have it coming over to Miami, and then you have it coming over to Miami. And if I'm not mistaken, this is either the first time that a Grand Prix is taking place in the United States, and it's just opening up it's opening the floodgates, because now next year they're doing it in Las Vegas, and then they're eventually going to try
Okay.
to do it in Texas. So it gauged my interest. So I tried to learn about it. I was just, okay, it's something new. Like it's I think it kind of just piggybacked on the fact that like prior to that I had been going to a lot of like sporting events before. Like I had gone to see for the first time our new local
Mhm.
soccer team. I had seen the Miami Heat and play,
Yeah.
and then recently I had just gone to a Martins game. So I was just like, you know what, let's keep the trend going. The way
Yeah.
I want, like I like the idea of it, but obviously I couldn't afford going. So the tickets are absurd, completely absurd. Like you're talking about like base
Wow.
pay. We're starting at 900, and as it kept going, depending
Wow.
on the seats, I saw tickets close to like $13,000. It was absurd. So you're talking about this event mostly was hosted by individuals that didn't even necessarily live in Miami. You're talking
Right.
about people that came down from Jupiter, from Boca, from West Palm Beach, like very like more north from here. But I was blessed to have like a friend who a wonderful individual. I've known her since Gainesville, since I went to
Okay.
UF, and she happened to have an extra ticket. And luckily, and when she offered me the ticket, I I saw it as a way of I like any normal person would have not said no. So I took the chance, and I got to go see the event. But obviously, going to an event, I don't want to just sit there and like not understand. So I did my research, and I tried to better understand how
Okay.
it worked back. And it's honestly like I didn't realize it was like a 3 day event at first. Like you have
Oh, I didn't even know it was a 3 day event.
so it's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So
Okay.
Friday, like it's a 3 day event. So Friday it's just like practice runs, and like just overall just seeing the cars run and them getting a feel to the track and so forth.
Okay.
Saturday, which is the day I went, was qualifiers. So each, and it's I want to say it's 20 drivers, 10 teams, 20 drivers. If I'm not correct, I would have to might have to double check that. I can't remember. But each team has two racers, and the qualifiers, they run three qualifyings, and you have a certain amount of time in each one of the qualifyings, and based on what your time is on each one of those runs determines your if you're qualified to get into the main race, which is on Sunday, and what
Okay.
position you start off and so forth. And then Sunday you have your main race. which was this year. It was won by a Max Verstappen, which is he runs for Red Bull.
Okay.
And actually, the hat I'm wearing right now, I bought over there. So it's a Lewis Hamilton.
So where is the race? Is
so
it
the race is so that's also why it was pretty big, because the race was hosted at the Hard Rock Stadium, and the Hard Rock Stadium is the home of the Miami Dolphins. But if you go out there, the Hard Rock Stadium is actually north. It's 15 minutes north of me. So my gym is actually located across the stadium, like one of the plazas across. So this was when I first like started hearing about it, because I noticed like as I drove around the stadium to like the local bank that I usually go to, and I noticed there's just all these bleachers put up, and I'm just like wondering what's going on. I'm thinking it's like I'm thinking, okay, it can't be Rolling Loud, because that Rolling Loud is this music event that used to happen there, but happens in the same place where Ultra takes place in Bayfront Park, right by FTX Arena and all that. So I'm like thinking, what is this? And then I dabble on it. I dabble on the internet a little bit for trying to figure out what this means. And I see it's an F1, so it starts gauging my interest. And then eventually people just start talking about it a lot. Like my buddy's company was part of the construction company that helped build the roads. So that he starts talking about it, and they start talking about tickets. And then it's this whole thing of just like the internet is just like hyping it up, because again, when big things happen in your city, like it's just you hear about it consistently,
right?
And especially because it was announced so far ahead, obviously it just gained that traction. But then like once people started hearing about like potentially going and like how much the tickets are, and just now people start getting an interest in it. A lot of my friends say that when I asked them, when they asked me like, oh, if I knew anything, or how I was going or why I was going, someone would say, oh, he just watched the Netflix show. I'm like, Netflix show. So I look into it, and there's a four series show on Netflix. So I think possibly the individuals who did go from Miami, they just started watching that to get a better understanding of it. And I'm sure people knew who Lewis Hamilton was before then. Like I knew who he was. I always knew him as the Formula One racer, and like I always knew him as an individual who just was pretty badass at his sport. Like it's just like how Tiger Woods used to be good at his sport, or Tom Brady at football, things like that. So just the chance to go, I was just like, why not? Like it's the first time it's gonna happen for the next 10 years, and if I can afford to go later, then yes, I will go. But if I'm capable of going now, and especially I'm gonna go with a friend of mine and their parents who I just already been to different events with, like it's nice to see, like it's nice to be part of history in a sense, because when you grow up around the stadium, you've been to the stadium for football games and soccer games, and now you see it for a whole new event that could ultimately just change the course of just how your city functions and like your area functions. And it's just, might as well be a part of it. If you get the chance to go, why not? Like there, I got to meet a whole lot of new people, and I got to like actually see these cars up close and personal. And it's a cool sport. It honestly is. It's very loud. So
I could imagine.
Very, very loud. So, and then I learned it's not even just the Formula One races. Then you have there's another division where it's just Porsches. So it's just a bunch of 911 Carreras just racing around. And then so it's kind of sick. Honestly, I had a good time. It was very fun.